The third stage is where you've got rates guidance that's agreed among freelancers. So this is something where you've got some numbers, everyone's got a document that's privately circulated, a little handbook, and they've all agreed it, they all think it's doable, and you've got people who are turning work down, who are saying, okay, I'm a professional sound mixer, or I'm a professional something, and they're saying, you don't pay a sound mixer less than X pounds a day for a venue of this particular size or something like that. Again, film and TV, and this is where everybody works a 10-hour day. So what we do is we rates guidance, we derive the rates from an hourly rate. So we say whatever happens, firstly, no one, even if they only work 7 hours, they get paid for 10. So I would say that if you're currently working on a 5-hour minimum, you might want to say that anything less than 8 is going to be paid an 8-hour rate. I don't know, it's really up to you. But what we've done is we've derived everything from an hourly rate. So they say a 10-hour day is 10 times the hourly rate. If you ask me to work 7-hour days, you still pay me 10 times the hourly rate. If you ask me to work 11-hour days, then I'm going to ask you to pay me 11.5 times the hourly rate, because that essentially builds in overtime. So the longer the day, so a 12-hour day, you'd have to be paid 13 times the hourly rate. And then you also insist that all holidays are paid. You know, the holiday pay is contractual. They've got to pay you 12.1% on top. So that helps for people who are on the minimum wage. If you're on the very minimum wage, you should say minimum wage plus 12.1%. Otherwise, you'll be getting back to contact the HMRC on your behalf. And remember, all overtime is voluntary. And you need to agree all overtime with a line manager before you actually work it. And then there's another issue that you need to think about is, but if you are expected to work less than 11 hours after having left, then the employer will either allow the worker to go home early, or a compensatory rest payment will be made at the rate set out as an overtime rate. So if I'm expected to arrive at work 10 hours after I've left, you're going to have to pay me that first hour at the overtime rate, or you have to let me go home an hour early, but still pay me for it. And then another one is broken lunch breaks. So if they don't give you a lunch break, I think you have to say to employers, look, breaks are really important to me. I make less mistakes if I have a break. I need the rest in the middle of the day. Again, this is a long hours working thing. I need a rest. Legally, I'm entitled to a break after 6 hours. If I don't get that, then I'm going to be charging overtime. I'm going to be charging at the overtime rate. Let's say you work half an hour of your lunch break. What you should do in film and TV, what we do is we say that half an hour is to be paid at the overtime rate. I'm going to go home half an hour early, but you're going to pay me until the end of the day. Or if I stay until the end of the day, then that half an hour will also be paid at the overtime rate. So in film, it used to be called double and given back. This is back in the old days, that's how they talked about it. So whatever you do, you need an approach to what happens if they don't give you a break. Use whatever approach works for you. But I think you need to agree an approach. That's the important thing. And what's more, when you do have a conversation about agreeing it, you have to go, everyone has to go into the conversation and say, we are going to have a conversation, and at the end of that conversation, we're going to reach an agreement. And even if I personally disagree with it, I'm going to go along with the majority. You can't have a situation where 100 people get involved in a conversation, 60 of you agree with the final conclusion, 40 of you don't, and the 40 say, well, I don't agree with it, so I'll do as I please. Because if you do, then you might as well, please don't even waste anyone's time by having the conversation in the first place. You have to start a conversation with a commitment to agree to it at the end.